Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Pavan, an Olympian and beach volleyball world champion and a longtime professional indoor player.
And I'm Adam, former indoor player and coach, current beach volleyball coach, and most importantly, Sarah's husband.
We've made it. We're both wearing our Haikyu shirts.
Not by accident.
Did you do that on purpose?
Yes.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
So did I. Because we're feeling nostalgic and excited, but also sad, and so we just wanted to celebrate, you know?
I can't believe it's over. I can't believe when we started this, I don't even know how long ago. It just never seemed like the end would be in sight.
I'm in denial.
Yeah.
I can't believe we've made it this far. Adam was so reluctant when I asked him if he wanted to start watching this with me. He was like not interested. I almost had to force him.
True story.
And now look at him. Okay?
I can hear the one of us chants happening all over the place.
All over the planet, all right? Yeah, we've made it to the final episode. We obviously know that there's a movie, and there will be more Haikyu to come. So this isn't the end. This isn't the end of us.
But it's the end of
an era.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say journey.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to diving into the manga though, because I think that that'll be kind of a really cool way to keep it going and to see where the differences are between the original story and what was presented here, and see how good my memory is. It's not great, so we'll see what that looks like.
All that to say, you're not done with us. But last episode, Karasuno won the match.
Pulled it off blocking the freak quick. And who better but Cogs and Hinata, who run their own freak quick.
Oh my gosh. And Tsukishima's like little narrative at the end.
Yeah.
I was sobbing. Shocker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many good things.
Who better than those two? Because they're the ones that know better than anybody else that the freak quick is not invincible.
I do think it's interesting, given that Atsumu and Osamu are older, that they were probably the quote-unquote first version of the freak quick. They were probably doing it earlier than that, which I thought was kind of interesting as I thought about the episode after.
Well, and we saw Hinata completely slow things down.
Yeah.
A lot of progress has been made by a lot of people in this episode.
Yes. It was
this episode, sorry, this season, this match.
It was really cool to see all of the different characters work into, and quite frankly, you never really understand how far you've come until it's on the line in a pressure situation. And can you execute that? And that's not the end all and be all of growing, but it sure helps when you can do it in the pressure moments.
And we can't forget Kita's commentary about the volleyball monsters.
Yes. He was an instant favorite.
And he was good for so many gems and nuggets of insight and information. Even though he wasn't actively on the court, like he provided some valuable insight.
Agreed.
That's why he was an immediate entry into the Love House and the Bro House.
Correct. Hands down.
So we gotta wrap this up here today. Obviously, we're watching season 4, episode 25 of Haikyu, called The Promised Land. I'm excited, but yeah, let's just dive in.
And enjoy.
Soak it all in. One last episode. Here we go. Episode 25 of Haikyu is coming right now. The music, though.
There's no better feeling. Epic.
I was just gonna say that. The guy's stunned.
Nobody expected them to win. They're gonna break their backs for the next round.
Oh my gosh.
You get your wish. We're gonna go back to the video replay.
What's she doing?
Yes, I'm watching.
Had goosebumps. Okay, so they're heading into the pre-quarter. We were talking about this last time.
じゃあまたな、飛びよく。はい。翔陽君。はい。どっち？俺はいつかあんたにトスをあげるで。
That's a huge compliment.
Kage was like,
でもその前
no, I will.
インターハイで潰したるから覚悟しときよ。負け犬の遠吠えか。ああ、俺は負けたわけちゃうぞ。何言うとんねん。高校のか。集合。ナイスゲーム。最高だった。ありがとう。この援護がなければ稲荷崎に飲まれていた。本当に。ありがとうございます。
More goosebumps.
Oh boy, we're
I'm
getting
not
started
crying.
early.
I'm not crying.
Yeah, but you were on the verge, I can tell.
No, I got goosebumps. That was a big statement by Etsu there.
The only way that comes true is if they play pro or national team together.
Exactly.
I'm agreeing with you.
Exactly, that's what he's saying.
I'm agreeing with you.
And did you see Kageyama's face when he overheard that?
Over my dead body. Which is what you want. When you play somebody that competitive and they lose, they want you to know they're coming for you next time and that this is not going to be a regular thing. I'm fine with that response. He shook their hands, he said good game, he gave him a compliment, and then he just let them know, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't have anything wrong with that.
What did you think of Osamu's comment of we messed around too much?
It's true.
Didn't even hesitate.
No, but listen, and I know people are going to be upset with me. Inarizaki is a better team than Karasuno.
Oh.
They're
100%. They win that match probably 8 or 9 out of 10 times.
yeah, And we say that a lot when Karasuno gets their wins, but that's part of being an upstart, right? Is you kind of catch teams off guard. You know, they think they're gonna win. There's a little bit of overconfidence. I think this happens specifically in like boys high school sports. Like they don't have that professional mindset of understanding what it takes to show up every day and play the same way. There's a little more of a roller coaster, cocky, we're gonna win. And so, you know, I think it's fair. And if they would have been a little more focused, they probably would have won.
Well, I mean, in the first set they were calibrating for sure. They had never seen the team in person. So I think both teams were calibrating. Karasuno squeaked it out. And then the second set, they had found their footing and just dominated them in the second. And then the third set was just, you know.
It was a battle.
Now we know what to expect. Here we go.
Yeah. And it was, I mean, those matches come down to one play. Hinata and Kageyama made a good read, and they made a play.
Well, and Natsumu likes to kind of implement things that he just saw. Like, he's not necessarily like, oh, we should practice this first. Like, he saw the free quick and was like, that's cool.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, it's, I mean, the feels in this are real. No, it was a good game.
Which is another huge statement because their fans are so
ruthless.
Ruthless, yeah.
結果より家庭が大事と大人が言うて子供はいまいち納得せん
True.
ギターの方が少数派やと思うで
ありがとうございました
優勝候補とも言われていた稲荷崎高校ですが敗因は何だったでしょうか。
今回勝つにはもっと手堅く攻めるべきだったかもしれないですね。私のミスです。だが確実に選手躍進の一戦でした。
They're gonna apologize.
すいませんでした。
謝って少しでもすっきりしようと思っとんのか。
そんなんとちゃいます。
分かってるてすまんなけど謝んのはほんまに悪いと思っとる時にしえ俺もさっきの速攻が間違うとったと思えへんねん決まると思ったもんまあ練習でやってへんことを本番でやろうとすんのは嫌いやけどな
ラストのあれは相手が悪かったんやろな
せやなお前らがノリノリの時他のやつは大抵置いてきぼりになるんやけど今回に限っては向こうも同じくらいノリノリやったんやな高揚したやろそんな試合そうそうできんのと違うかええな
今北さん笑うとったな
試合中も何回か笑ってはりましたよ
えマジか
けどやっぱり悔しいな今までちゃんとやってきたし後悔なんかないって言い切れる
But losing sucks.
俺にとって結果は単なる副産物なのも変わらんのになんやろなどうや俺の仲間すごいやろってもっと言いたかったわ
言ってくださいよ孫の代まで自慢できる後輩になりますから
それは楽しみやなあれはよ着替え
Are you crying?
Could be. Somebody asked me a question on YouTube, and it was to the effect of, you said that Daichi and Kita are very similar but have some distinct differences. Who would you rather have on your team?
Ooh.
And I'm not sure I can actually pick, but I can say, yeah, I'm not sure I can pick.
All I have to say, I don't have an answer.
Well, you know, I think it depends on team makeup. When you have two players like Atsumu and Osamu, sorry. Kita is the perfect balance to them. And you know, you almost think Kita should be a libero because there doesn't seem to be an aggressive bone in his body. He just like goes through and does that. And Daichi brings a little more fire, I think, but Kita brings a calming presence. The thing I loved about this, which if I was gonna pick a player on a team that I coached, I would lean maybe towards Kita, because he's the kind of guy who builds a culture that you need to win, and you as a coach don't have to put those messages out there. Like, you don't have to worry about that because he demands so much respect from his teammates. I guarantee you, those two, the twins, that line of, I don't like when you do things in match that you don't practice, like, that is a legitimate thing they need to work on and something they need to focus on. And that line could potentially change their careers in the future if they take it to heart. And they will, because of who Kita is. And it's like, those little things are so cool to kind of hear.
I have kind of like an alternate viewpoint on that. Not an alternate viewpoint, but I focus in on a different part.
Okay.
In that you saw, in the interview, you saw the coach kind of take responsibility. Mm-hmm. And I think because you have a player like Kita that has such high expectations, a coach is able to say things like that because all the expectations are not coming from him. There's athletes on the team that kind of like instill that accountability and stuff. And it's just like the guys on the team expected, you know, the statement from Kita of like, I wish you wouldn't do things like that in matches that you don't practice. But to get the follow-up comment of like, my team's amazing, I wanted to be able to keep saying that, like, so in future matches. It's acknowledged, like, for somebody who has such high expectations and such a high standard, to tell his team, you are amazing, I find it an honor to play with you. Like, that is so incredibly impactful. And like, because he doesn't give compliments like that willy-nilly. Yeah. Like, the fact that he was able to say, like, I wanted to keep stepping on the court with you. I think that you're amazing. It's just, it's so much more meaningful.
It's actually something I've thought about a lot as a coach. I'm a generally encouraging and positive person, so my instinct is to always be encouraging, but I think sometimes your words lose value when you say them not without thinking or when they're not necessarily deserved. And then you see players who just have that presence or coaches who have that presence. And when you give a compliment in that situation, how much it resonates and means to those people, it's just really interesting. And it's definitely something that I think about personally. And I love that moment for them. Whew.
何分そうしてんだ服着ろ
月ジャージ2枚着てるよ月島までシャットダウン仕掛けてんの初めてだな飛んでましたからね今日おあ西野屋そこで寝るなでもいつも真っ先に気絶するやつが起きてますねあれだけ動いたから逆に眠れないのかも今日多分他人のその瞬間を目撃した
The moment where you're hooked on volleyball. He was already hooked though.
春高2日目、こいつがもう一段深くバレーボールにハマった日。
Tsukishima is narrator extraordinaire, let me tell you.
He doesn't miss much.
Man.
I love that Kageyama's bird always looks angry.
Yeah, it's great. Whoa.
あ、殺すのがミヤンズ倒してる。
気づいてなかったのかよ。すごい騒ぎだったじゃん。
自分の試合中外のことなんか知らねえし。
That's not a very Bokuto.
優勝候補の一角沈むか。
俺ミヤンズともやりたかった。
確かに僕とさ、今日は集中してたな。昨日の初戦こそふわふわしてたものの、
He was the center of attention.
上々。
He's like, I'm just waiting for him to have a meltdown.
こういうこと考えて欲を出すと良くないことが起こる気がする。淡々といくんだ。淡々と。
赤足がまた考えすぎてる。
Even Akashi's observed.
なんか私カラスノのファンになっちゃいそうね。えカラスノって次どこでやるの？
猫間。
もうそこってスグルたちとやったところだよね。どっちが勝つと思う？
わかんないけどカラスノの勢いは侮れないと思う。
へえ、そうなんだ。カラスのノリに乗ってるね。明日どうする？見に来る？
そうだね。
明日も楽しみだね。カラスノの試合。
攻撃はなかなか止められないっしょ。
だよね。なんか相手の猫間って地味な感じだったしね。全然相手になんないよね。
余裕っしょ。
その言葉覚えておけよ。
Do we know who that is?
She was in one of the OVAs.
お伝えしました。
ヘビも大変ですね。
はい、では続いてスポーツです。山下さん。
They're not going to be on.
春の高校バレー。
They always hope they are.
シード校も参戦し、男女2回戦が行われました。男子は波乱の展開です。平行と第2試合、最強の双子、宮ツインズの稲荷崎高校対東北の古豪、こちらもユース候補の1年生セッター、影山飛びを擁する超攻撃型チーム、カラスノ高校。抜群の呼吸でカラスノを圧倒する宮兄弟。対するカラスノ、切り込み隊長、
Wow.
龍之介、力みすぎか調子を出し切れません。
What?
つらい。
第2セットもミドルブロッカー須名麟太郎の速攻を止められないカラスのブロック苦戦します。
あえてでしょうが。山口うるさい。
第2セットこそ落としたもののカラスの高校
ああ、撃った。俺。
すが顔がやべえ。
ひどいなこれ。
お、清水。
お？あ、絶対清水多めに映してるだろこれ。美しい。お、朝日さん。何人かやってそうな顔ですね。かっけー。
集中してると俺こんな顔なの。いつもこんなだべ。
There it is,
They
baby!
made it on TV.
俺のレシーブ。見たか影山。見てない。見ろよ。木下さん。
Ugh.
珍。
Okay, so your question, have we seen that girl before? Do you remember in the OVA,
Nope.
like Lev's sister was there,
Oh, okay.
and then there was a little girl beside her?
Yeah.
So that's that girl.
Oh, okay. Got it. So she's with Nakoma.
Correct.
Is the important part.
Correct.
Got it.
Yes. And I love how the like news TV recap has been a recurring theme kind of throughout the seasons, and like Karasuno's always overlooked, and then they finally do something amazing and it's still just like how good the other team is and how bad they were, and somehow they won anyway. It's like they can't catch a break.
Well, they can't, because even as the film crew, even as the match is going on, nobody expects them to win, so they're getting all the film of the other team.
And it's like, well, that guy sucked pretty bad, but they won anyway. It's like...
That was harsh. He did not deserve that shrapnel.
I mean, I'm just gonna hold on to episode 16 when he had his moment, okay?
Yeah, fair.
But I do, it's pretty entertaining that the sports news segment is a recurring thing and it's always the same story.
I mean, they're the underdogs and they're coming through and upsetting teams. That's just what happens.
らしいですね、僕とさん。テレビ見ないんですか？あ、見たじゃん。いや、100回くらいリピートするものかと。お前は俺を何だと思ってるの？俺あんま映んなかったし、20回も見れば十分。20回見たんだ。俺は高校終わっても変わらずバレエやるし、高校最後の大会だからって今までと特に変わんないと思ってたんだけど。やっぱもっとみんなとやりたかったな。
He actually likes you guys.
死にませんよね。あ、俺は130歳まで生きる。何言ってるんですか。まだ2日目じゃないですか。3回戦、準々決勝、準決勝、決勝。まだ先は長いですよ。うん。全部勝つ。さ、早く中入りましょう。インフルとかノロとか流行ってるんですよ。1月を舐めないでください。1月を？いやー。
This feeling that Bokuto is experiencing is so real. Like when you're a third year in this case, or a senior in college, or retiring or whatever, it's just like there is like this very real understanding that every match you play could be your last. And it's just like almost this sense of mortality in a weird way, of not like literally obviously, but just like knowing that it could be the end and coming to terms with that. And so I can definitely relate to what Bokuto was saying, and like for many phases of my career and my life. But yeah, Akashi was just like, well, yeah, we have third round, quarter, semi, and it's just like, no, but like if we don't win, like it's the end.
Yeah, it's there and it's real.
Yeah.
I've only felt that once in my life. In high school, I didn't think about anything like that because you were going to keep going and playing and kind of club the same way. But when we lost in the finals my 4th year of university, I remember sitting in the locker room going, it can't end like this. Like that can't have been the last time I play. Like it hits you hard.
I am really bad at beginnings and endings. Like change, I don't love it. So anything new and fresh, I struggle, and endings, I'm so bad at endings. So my last match in high school, I was a wreck. My last match in college, I was a wreck. My last time playing indoor, I was a wreck. My last time playing beach, same. It's just like, yeah, that hit me deep.
Yeah. And it's interesting, he has this confidence, which is great, but he also knows. It's this interesting dichotomy of, I know I'm gonna go play pro, I'm good enough, I'm good, but this team, this experience will never be the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true.
影山どんどんすごくなるよな。やっぱ今のうちにサインもらっとこう。
あいつサインとか考えるタイプ。
Same situation for these guys.
ただの署名。
よっしゃ、俺が考えたろ。ハートマークとかつけたろ。
やめろやめろ。田中も今日すごかったよな。
超クロスな。
からのキワキワストレート。
Everybody played a role.
Mm-hmm.
終盤のリバウンドもやばかった。冷静って言葉に一番縁遠そうなのにさ。
で冷静っつったら月島。 あいつマジで淡々とホースを絞る感じなんだよ。職人かよ。
俺だったら絶対手出しちゃうわ。あと今日は日向のレシーブな。いやービビった。リグもだけどさ、最後の1点でさ、田中のリバウンドを日向が高く上げただろ。あ、だよな。やっぱそうだったよな。
俺は泣いた。
いや、わかるけども。
Oh, you and Suga.
あいつら見てるとさ、負けたくない。対戦相手には当然負けたくないけどさ、
あいつらにも負けたくない。
それです。
対抗して明日いきなり超クロスとかやんなよ。
何言ってんだ。そんな度胸はない。
あれ、そこは嘘でもあれよ。あれって。
そうだ、あれ。
あ、それ知ってる。いい匂いのやつだ。クラスの子みんな使ってるんですよ。あ、でもさ、顔とか体ってあんまり洗わない方がいいんだって。いつもゴシゴシ洗ってました。じゃあ明日の夜は清水先輩真似して洗ってみます。観察されるのは恥ずかしいな。
I thought Tanaka was going to be creeping somewhere there.
ひなた、今日は元気だな。試合の興奮収まらん。すぐにでも試合したい。気持ち悪い。
石間、それ嫌味じゃなく本気のやつだろ。傷ついちゃうぞ。何すんだ。
うざい。
The Chroma Spies.
堅実という言葉が似合うチームでしたが、攻撃力の高いミドルブロッカーも入り、攻守ともにレベルを上げています。勢いに乗っているカラスの高校にネコマ高校、なんとか食らいついていってほしいです。
こんやろ、俺たちが下みたいな言い方すんな。
下馬評はカラスの有利って感じだろうね。
ああ、
強いとこいっぱい倒してるし。
バカ野郎、俺たちだって強いとこ倒したからここにいるんでしょうが。
ああ、自分の布団だけ敷いてやがる。
でもさ、俺たちに牛若とかミヤツインズ倒せるかな。
おい、たまんじゃねえよ。やってみなきゃわかんないと思います。それにグーはチョキに勝てるけど、パーには勝てないと思います。
まあ、どっちでもいいよね。それを確かめるためにわざわざ試合しに来てんだし。
ケンマは多分試合に負けても特になんとも思わない。
So you don't know Kenma.
でも俺はケンマに勝つ。
ああ、真っ黒だ。ごめんね、あかねちゃん。私おしゃべりに夢中になっちゃって。大丈夫。お母さんには電話したし。
Little fan showdown, baby. This song is also incredible.
Three strands. Hinata's not going to be able to sleep.
Okay, I loved the Karasuno third years talking about their teammates so much, and like they're in the same position as Bokuto, and they're just like,
I would argue they're in a tougher position than Bokuto.
because they're probably not going to continue their
Correct.
career.
Like
Yeah.
their sport life is over.
But just to hear them talking about their teammates like proud parents,
Yeah.
it was so cute.
Well, it's nice that they can do that and not like pump their egos. It's like, we're gonna miss those guys, but don't tell them that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And it's cool knowing that you helped shape what is coming. Even, I mean, they might still win the tournament, but even if they don't, Karasuno will be good for the next couple of years, and you can look back on that and go, I played a huge role in them getting there. And that's a cool feeling as a senior.
So I liked that.
Yeah.
I liked how Yachi said, tomorrow I'm gonna copy you, meaning we'll be here tomorrow
Mhm.
as well.
Yeah.
And don't sleep on Kenma, because didn't he say to Hinata, I can't wait to play you for real?
Mm-hmm. The thing with Kenma doesn't show a lot of emotion, but he is very bent on figuring things out. And he wants to win. You're just not going to be able to tell. He's got more grit and determination than people give him credit for, and that is not going to be a walkover.
Okay, let's see what happens here.
ゴミ捨て場の決戦俺が見してやるぜ
ゴミ捨て場の決戦な。俺は他人に教える真似事を始めてからしばらく選手に俺と同じこと、あるいは俺がやろうと思ってできなかったことをさせようとした。でもある時奴らはどう考えてるのか気になった。奴らは俺じゃねえし、俺の駒でもねえ。その当たり前のことに気づいて、その日から教えることが真似事じゃなくなったんだ。これがまあ難しいのなんのな。おめえはその点出来がいい。バレエ自体の出来が悪いだけある。
ゴミ捨て場の決戦がジジイ高校のためだと思ってんのかよ。今一番ネコマの連中を倒したいと思ってんのはうちの野郎どもだぞ。もう昔の因縁の相手じゃなくなってるんだよ。だからただ楽しみに待ってるよ。
Well,
I have a couple of questions actually.
we made it through. How do you feel?
A little sad.
Yeah, me too.
This was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I was overall blown away at...
I'm gonna cry in the outro, everybody.
I know this isn't gonna come out right, but at what anime could be. Like there's just no... I mean, this is the first anime I've watched besides Dragon Ball Z, which was when I was 13. And all of the things to think about and the personal memories it stirred up and all of those things, like it was incredible. It's amazingly well done. It's a great story. It was made in a way that is just, you wouldn't think it was possible, quite frankly. And so it's been really cool to go through and do, especially with you.
I don't even need Haikyu to be playing. Okay, just talking about it gets me sad. Not sad, emotional. Similar to you, this was the first anime I ever watched aside from when I was 13 watching Sailor Moon. This is like, we've watched several anime. We're still relatively new, but we've watched several other than this now. And this is just a masterpiece.
Yeah.
You know, this hits home for us, and speaking for myself, hits home for me just because of my background in the sport, but the way that it's able to draw parallels and explain things and just like make it relatable to people who don't even know the sport is just incredible. And yeah, brings up a lot for me, and it's just, I think it's beautifully done.
One of the other really cool things has actually been doing it with all of you. I've had great interactions and conversations online with people who have watched or asked questions, or, you know, the fandom of Haikyu is actually really cool, and what people look at and learning what everybody takes from other characters, or the number of people who have said, you know, this is a line that has stuck with me that I implement in my life, you know, at this point, I mean, obviously most recently with Kita, you know, a lot of things have come up, but it's amazing that you can portray that and connect with people, you know, in a medium like this. And that's been probably another one of my highlights of this, is just talking to people about it.
It's all started because of you guys encouraging me to watch this.
True
after
story.
posting volleyball videos, and look what it's become. My eyes and my world have been completely opened in a way that I never expected, and it has been so fulfilling.
Yeah.
I'm crying again.
I'm very curious. I mean, this obviously isn't over, and Nakoma and Karasuno are going to play. I'm very curious to see how that match goes, because they're kind of friends. And so all of the matches they've played to this point have been somewhat adversarial.
Low stakes.
Well, not low stakes, but you don't have that relationship with the guys on the other side of the net, so you just want to win. And I'm curious to see what the
Oh, I thought you meant the games that they've had with Nakoma up until
No.
Oh,
Like with the other games, and now you're playing like they're friends.
Yeah.
And it's always curious to see how that comes out when you're on the court. What happens? What are the interactions like? What are the comparisons like? I'm very curious to see how this part is animated, what those interactions are like. Does it become snippy? Is it more of a nod to how good you are? Who gets competitive? Like, I'm looking forward to seeing what that looks like.
What were your questions?
Well, that was kind of one of them, of what that would come. What did you think of the interaction between Ukai and Grandpa Ukai?
I was gonna ask you, because I feel like that's your wheelhouse.
You know, I'm not sure I completely followed what he was saying about the facade. Unless it was about, you know, you try and coach and get players to a level that you couldn't get to, was maybe what I was thinking, but I didn't really follow it. Ukai seems to think that there's some harbored resentment there, whether they didn't win the national championship with Grandpa or not. But I love that Ukai called them his boys, and I can tell you that feeling is real. Like when I coached those high school kids, like they were my team, and they were little brats most of the time, and I could yell at them, but if anybody else said anything about them, I was pissed. And so I can relate to that wholeheartedly, and I think that's those little, I'm gonna call them brats, worm their way into your life and what you think about and all of those things.
But also him telling Ukai that he's a natural.
Yeah.
Huge compliment.
Yeah. Only after he told him he sucked at volleyball, though.
Yeah. It's a good thing you suck, because that probably makes you a better coach.
He's not wrong about that.
That was a perfect ending.
Yeah. So good.
Obviously, we will be back with the movie and the movies, or however they choose to roll out the rest of the story. We will be there for that as well. So no promises of when that will be released, but we will be back shortly. Okay, so stay tuned. We would love to hear your thoughts. We know Haikyu has made a huge impact on a lot of your lives. So we would love to hear your thoughts now that season 4 has wrapped up. And so, yeah, engage with us. Let us know your thoughts, because this has definitely changed our lives for the better as well. So thank you for opening our eyes to this experience. And as always, we'd be so excited if you would like this video, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned, because we will be back with the Haikyu movie very soon. Love you guys.